Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in today. This is First and Vaughan. You know this show is bomb. Jakob's out here dabbing like he's Cam Newton. He's reporting on the NFL. He's the #1 analyst. He's speaking facts and haters can't handle it. But the real animal is RJ. When he has the camera, you know it's a party. He be filming and shooting, making these reels like a movie, editing scenes. He's the greatest cameraman, you can't refute it. Oh, this is First and Vaughan. Oh, this is First and Vaughan. Oh, this is First and Vaughan. This is First and Vaughan. This is First and Vaughan, you know.
Thank you for joining us this Wednesday night, October 12th, 2016. Welcome to First and Vaughan. I am your host and analyst, Jakob Vaughan, and behind the camera, we have producer, editor, and filmer, RJ Thomas. This is a weekly show, and we'll get better and better each and every week. Last week, the feedback and support we received was unbelievable, so thank you all for that. RJ and I really appreciate it. We are in full swing of supporting Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Let's get started on recapping Week 5 of the NFL. Currently training from Week 5 in the NFL, we have some breaking news for you. Colin Kaepernick will now be the starting quarterback of the 49ers. Gary Kubiak will not coach this Thursday night and will take the whole week off after being hospitalized with severe migraines. This past Friday, the Panthers released their starting cornerback, Ben Wickery, after he was torched by Julio Jones, and this Monday, he was picked up by the Miami Dolphins off waivers. This Monday, the Ravens fired offensive coordinator Mark Trestman and replaced him with the quarterback's coach. The Pittsburgh Steelers wore their Bumblebee throwback uniforms against the Jets. Everyone tends to hate on these jerseys, but me, I'm a fan of them. On Monday Night Football, Jameis Winston and the Buccaneers beat the Panthers 17-14. The victory came from the hands of Jameis Winston leading the Buccaneers down the field for a late winning field goal. It was Jameis Winston's first time beating the Panthers, and it was also Jameis Winston's Monday Night Football debut. Jameis Winston. Anyways, to the next one. The Washington Redskins are starting to click and are now on a 3-game winning streak, entering Week 6. You like that? Odell Beckham Jr. wore gloves on Sunday Night Football that said, "Just smile," to go along with his Joker visor. OBJ went on to get his first reception touchdown of the year after making a back of the end zone toe drag touchdown catch against the Packers. Don't even get me started on what OBJ did next. This man, OBJ, he went to the sideline and kissed the kicking net that 2 weeks ago he swung his helmet at. We all know how that resulted. Moving on to the equipment managers for the Vikings. They spelled Everson Griffin's name wrong on his jersey. The correct way is Griffen. It was spelled on his jersey as Griffin. Hey Vikings, give me a call. I know a guy that doesn't mess up. His name is Chase Miffleton. He is the Virginia Tech Hokies equipment manager, and it sure looks like y'all could use him. Now we move on to Jacob's Pick 6. Here we go. I'm ready to take this recap of my top 6 stories from Week 5 all the way to the house. Last week, I said the Eagles would be the first team to lose out of the 3 undefeated teams going into Week 4, and I didn't think it would happen this soon, but hey, it did. And Carson Wentz threw his first interception. Now the Vikings remain as a lone undefeated team in the NFL. Surprisingly, yes, I know. Titans quarterback and former Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota had 3 passing touchdowns, 60 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown as the Titans beat the Dolphins 30-17. Browns are the first team since the 2002 Eagles to have 5 different players attempt to pass in their first 5 games. Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott are the first rookie teammates with 1,000+ passing yards and 500+ rushing yards. They have been impressive this year, and I can't believe that Jerry Jones says he will go back to Tony Romo when he returns. Jerry, I say go with Dak Prescott. He is hot and has control of the offense. LaShawn McCoy passed the 8,000 rushing yard mark against the LA Rams over the weekend. Shady, from me and most Eagles fans, we miss you, but congratulations. Patriots tight end Marcellus Bennett had a big day, catching 3 touchdowns for the first time in his career. Tom Brady, returning from suspension, was the first player 39 years or older to pass for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. My POTW, my player of the week. Yes, there's a lot of candidates for the POTW award this week, but I had to stick with choosing one out of the many. And I gave the award to Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. Elliott has rushed for over 130 yards in 3 straight weeks in a row. This past week, he put on another show, running all over the Bengals defense with 134 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, along with 37 yards receiving. POTR, my player on the rise. This week, it took some thinking, and I had to choose between 49ers wide receiver Jeremy Curley and the Steelers tight end Jesse James. And I went with Jeremy Curley, wide receiver for the 49ers. He played with the Jets for the majority of his career and was a slot wide receiver, but he was mainly known for his special teams contributions. He has become the 49ers' #1 option in the passing game. Curley has totaled over 190 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. The Elite. Time to figure out if your favorite team can crack my top 5 list and be considered elite. Here are my top 5 teams going into week 6. And at number 5, we have the Denver Broncos. They will roll over the Chargers this Thursday night, and I really can't wrap my mind around them losing again until they face the Patriots. They are an all-around team and can get the job done from every position, like my friend Jeremy said last week on First and Vaughan. And now at number 4, the Green Bay Packers. Yes, the Green Bay Packers face the Cowboys in week 6, but I like what I've been seeing from the Packers lately, and they aren't even all the way healthy with a banged-up defense. Jordy Nelson and Eddie Lacy are a pair of beasts that the NFL should watch out for this season. Going into the top 3, I had the Atlanta Falcons. If the Falcons weren't playing the Seahawks this week, there's no doubt in my mind that they would be number 1 on my list. They beat the Broncos last week, handed them their first loss of the season, and the Falcons are without a question the surprise team of the NFL this year. And at number 2, I went with the New England Patriots. TB12 is back, and so is the electric offense of the Patriots. Look for Brady to lead his team with a head of steam. Watch out for the NFL Patriots. They're ready to roll. Now, my number 1 team. Going into their week 6 matchup, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have been on a tear lately, and they face the Dolphins this week. You all saw what Marcus Mariota did to them last week. Just wait and see what Big Ben and the Steelers will do. Scary. Be sure to go on our Twitter page and vote in our fan poll this week. Vote to tell us who you think should be number 1 out of my elite teams going into week 6. Fantasy Visions is what I like to call my fantasy visions of the upcoming week in fantasy football. I'm going to offer my advice and say add a few, drop a few, start and sit these 2. Hope you all watched and listened to First and Vaughan last week and will continue to do so. Helping the fantasy viewers with fantasy football questions is one of my favorite parts of the show. I have been spot on with my fantasy advice last 2 weeks in a row. Let's see if I can make it 3 weeks in a row, starting with you need to add Bears running back Jordan Howard. Last week, Howard rushed for 118 yards and had 45 receiving yards and a touchdown. That's his 2nd week in a row for rushing over 100 yards. He's owned in 71.1% of NFL.com's fantasy leagues. And here's your second ad of the week. Steelers wide receiver Sammy Coates. He may have had 4 drops, but he had himself a career day with 139 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. This year, he has totaled 5 rushing yards, 421 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. Sammy is only owned in 8.5% of NFL.com's fantasy leagues, so you need to go out there and add him this week. Now here's who to drop. Rams wide receiver Tavon Austin. This year, Austin has had 50 yards rushing and 218 yards receiving with 1 touchdown. Week 4, he only had 0.80 points, and in week 5, only 8.50 points. He is not reliable, and you can never start him confidently, so I say go ahead and drop him for a more reliable option. My second drop of the week is Lions wide receiver Golden Tate. All I can say is wow. We all need to go out and put up missing signs for him all around Detroit. He's not been productive or anything close to the star he was the past few years. He is owned in 71.1% of NFL.com's fantasy leagues, and his highest scoring game this season is 4.50 points. Yikes. Now here's who to start this week. Continue to start tight end Martellus Bennett for the Patriots. Even with Gronk being back, Bennett has produced big time for the Patriots offense this year, and he is ranked as the number 1 tight end according to NFL.com's fantasy leagues. I'm going out on a limb with this up and down roller coaster of a player, but I'm saying after what TB12 did to the Browns defense, Titans quarterback Marcus Mariota should get the start in fantasy football this week after he torched the Dolphins defense for a total of 30.52 fantasy points in NFL.com's fantasy leagues. Up next, we have who to sit this week. I say to sit Jets running back Matt Forte. He started off the year hot. The past 2 weeks, he has only had 11.30 points according to NFL.com's fantasy football leagues. And Mr. Miller, you're not going to like this one. My second player to sit in week 6 is Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman. I would expect him and Brady to get on the same page soon, but the past 2 weeks, he hasn't been producing. Sit Edelman until he can find a way to start producing. Like I said last week, I answered and helped a lot of viewers with their fantasy questions, and I will gladly continue to do so. It's time for Primetime Selections. Primetime games are the best kind of games when everybody's watching, the lights are shining, and everyone is tweeting. Time to make some selections for Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and Sunday Night Football. Starting with this Thursday night's game, on Thursday Night Football, we have the Broncos and the Chargers. This is a no-brainer. The 4-1 Broncos will beat the 1-4 Chargers. The Broncos are coming off a loss, but hey, they did start rookie quarterback Paxton Lynch. With Trevor Siemian being injured, the Chargers have no clue how to finish a game in the fourth quarter this year. Broncos get the W easily. I'm saying 31-10. And on Monday Night Football, the Jets and Cardinals square up. This whole game should be on come on, man. These two teams have both had an awful start to their season. I have no idea what to expect, so I'm going with the home team in this game, and the Cardinals will win 17-13. Finally, to end the weekend, we have the Colts versus the Texans under the spotlight of Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football has my favorite two NFL announcers, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. I just enjoy to listen to them commentate and analyze the game. I'm going with the Texans to win in primetime. Brock Osweiler has shown he is not worth the $72 million the Texans are paying him. You would think that when the Broncos Super Bowl winning quarterback and GM John Elway said Osweiler was not worth the kind of money, the Texans should have listened. The Colts and Texans are both off and on teams week to week, but I see a close game being won by the Texans because of their stronger defense, 24-21. I hope you all love primetime games as much as we do here at First and Vaughan. Feel free to hit us up on social media with who you picked for the primetime games this week. It's time to go rapid fire in the pocket and tell our viewers what the NFL has to offer in this upcoming Week 6. Logan, RJ, this ball's kind of flat. Did Brady get a hold of it?
Which NFL team has the best offense?
You could argue the Falcons, Steelers, or the Patriots. I'm going with the Steelers though. Big Ben under center with Le'Veon Bell and DeLangelo Williams in the backfield, and then you have Antonio Brown catching everything. Along with Marcus Whedon, Sammy Coates, they're all having big games here and there, and the young tight end Jesse James on the rise. No question the Pittsburgh Steelers have the loaded offense, and I say it is the best in the NFL.
The NFL becoming known as the no fun league.
This has become a big topic of the NFL this season. I get what the NFL is trying to do by cutting down celebrations and setting an example to just play the game, but you have to have some leeway. Josh Norman was fined $10,000 for his bow and arrow gesture. OBJ, he was fined $24,309 for his actions against the Vikings last week. And Antonio Brown said he can't believe he was fined $24,000 for scoring, touchdowns, and having fun. The Ryder Cup for golf had more celebrations and taunting than the NFL had all year. And look how much fun they had.
Jakob, who's your rookie of the year at this point in the season?
Another question that could have a lot of different answers. Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Will Fuller, and Sterling Shepard. I saw a poll earlier this week that had Carson Wentz running away with this award. And yes, I'm excited about his potential and what he has done this year so far, but I'm going with Ezekiel Elliott, my rookie of the year so far. Elliott has rushed for 546 yards. That's more than 23 teams have had totaled, all in the first 5 weeks of the NFL this year. Thank you for watching episode 3 of First and Vaughan. Don't be shy, follow us on social media. Give us a like, retweet, comment, or mention. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Be sure to check us out every Wednesday night. RJ and I will try to do better next week. We hope everyone has a great Week 6 in the NFL.
This is First and Vaughan, this is First and Vaughan, this is First and Vaughan, you know. Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in today.